again. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my favorite characters, Phoebe, Ayla, and Elena, the main characters of my book, and how they came to be and why I chose them to represent the story. And for me, as a sensitive person who is highly observant around my surroundings and things that are going on, and people's different issues and problems, and mainly internally that they share with me or share with others, I'm kind of picked up on a lot of that. And I chose to kind of create three characters that would represent the different wounds that women specifically can encounter and take on as both ancestral wounds and different traumas that can result in wounds, depending on where you are in the world, where you are in your life, and also how you take things on and how you reflect and people you encounter. Yeah, all of that. So the first character is Ayla. She was actually the first one that came to me when I started writing the book, because she represents this typical career woman in the Western world that's kind of struggling to be seen and overachieving and overpleasing, and running on all the running the extra mile and always doing the extra work. But she is, you can analyze this for eternity, I guess. And there's many ways of looking at this, especially depending on where you are in your journey and your life, and which parts of these characters that reflects your wounds and speak to you most. But Ayla spoke to me first and foremost because she kind of represents a lot of my wounds with the career, choosing a career that didn't really fit, and having the struggle to be heard in the workplace, but also the kind of tension of or the blurred line between workplace and personal life, as well as sort of the struggle of, or not the struggle, but the loneliness, I guess, that comes with choosing that career path where you are always giving and never getting back. But then she's also located in Canada. I placed her in various different places first, and then eventually she ended up in Toronto. I have never been to Canada, but I would love to go sometime in the future. That would be lovely. But I always had this kind of dream of this open landscape and the mountains and the coastline and all the energies that are there. And that is one of the main reasons why she's placed there, is because there is, it kind of represents big importance spiritually, with the closeness of the Rocky Mountains and Atlantic Ocean and all of the spectra. And then we have Phoebe. Phoebe has kind of become close, warm to my heart, because she represents the younger, or the maiden, basically, the young woman who is also overachieving just like Ayla, she's caring about everybody else except for herself. And she's always wondering what she's doing wrong and kind of scared of commitment or scared of showing emotion and kind of struggling a little bit, getting into her head about how other people are seeing her and where she stands and what her identity is. I actually made her mixed race because I needed some. Well, there's a lot of reasons for that, but the main reason is that um, well, actually, all of the women have some sort of mixed identity crisis where they actually come from all over the place and they don't really know who they are. But more so for Phoebe because she's in her father's land and away from her mother's land, and then she's needing to adapt um, to codes and show social codes and culture in a way that she forgot her heritage. Um, and I think that represents a lot of kind of collectively a big wound in all of us where we sort of dim that part of ourselves where we don't want to remember who we are and we are questioning our own identity, but it's even though it's right there in front of us, both in our physical appearance but also in culture, where we belong, where we're supposed to be, or maybe we are all of it at once, and we just need to embrace that. And then we have Elena, who is, I guess, the typical woman. She's a mother, she's a wife, she's a housewife. She is the one who kind of carries it all and does it all for everyone. She's also a people pleaser, just like the other two. And she's doing everything for everyone else, but not almost nothing for herself. Um, so her struggle, internal struggle, is to actually have to come to terms with being important, or her own importance, both for herself and for others, and realize that she actually does have an identity outside of the family, and she does actually have the right to her own heart, basically, but also her own feelings and emotions and time. Uh, she has that she's also allowed to enjoy it and be present and be there for herself as well as everyone else. So that's kind of her struggle, and she's placed in Australia, and the reason for that was because I actually wanted. I was kind of scattering the world for these ladies and trying to figure out where to place them. And I placed Elena in Australia because of the vast well the history and the fact that she could be an immigrant white, and she could be having all these identity issues that comes with both being the nice girl, but also struggling with having not knowing her motherland or her true identity, but maybe she does. So she could go back and forth. And then with her, we have her best friend Lucy, who is actually Chinese. Chinese. That's how I picture her anyway. So there's all these influences that can that I thought were kind of exciting to bring the cultural aspects and the um, kind of like into the identities and into the mother wounds and into the father wounds, and try to see like how both how that would affect the issues that they're having, or how it could affect their identity and their journeys, and but also how that could help the reader to identify with the characters. That they are in different stages of their lives and they're in different parts of the world. They have different types of lives, but it kind of represents all of us, but still there are elements in all of it where you can relate and find something that speaks to you. Um, and then apart from these three, we have a lot of other characters. I will talk more about them another time. But I actually, if you have started reading the novel already, you will learn that there are 12 women in total. And you will not hear that much about the other ones. But the reason I would just want to say that the reason why there are 12 is because of, first and foremost, were the 12 chakras. I needed one woman for each chakra. I also needed lots of women to spread out across the world to kind of represent different parts of history, different parts of culture, languages, and all of that. To kind of, but also to kind of showcase how we are so many all over the world that are awakened, enlightened, aware, and healing and stepping out up into our sovereignty, understanding where we're from, and remembering the codes, the power, and the love. Um, so that's the reason for that. And yeah, stay tuned for tomorrow's part. I will talk a little bit more about the divine feminines in my next video. Okay, see you then.